Hey Elvis, and hey everybody, welcome back. It's Jordan here. Today we're going to be working on the Lego City, specifically modular buildings. I'm going to have to play musical chairs with modular buildings once again because recently I constructed the new Bricklink designer program Modular Construction Site, and it's time to place that set in the Lego City. It's pretty big. It's 1.5 base plates. You can see it beside the diner and also town hall. And it has to be orientated this way, like, what is that, a right or left corner, whatever you call it. It's got to be on this side of the street, we'll call it. So I'm trying to come up with a plan here on how to place this huge modular building in the Lego City. I really don't know where to put it because it's 1.5 base plates. So in order to place it like properly in here, a whole bunch of things have to move around, I think. And also, before I even place it, I have to make some changes to it. Changes that I failed to make to other buildings, such as the Sanctum Sanctorum and the Jazz Club. Do you know what those changes are? The tile work. It has to change from dark gray to light gray. I've done that with all of my modular buildings here in the Lego City. I don't know why the modular buildings have dark gray tiles. The first set that came out had dark gray tiles, and they were sort of stuck with it after that. But it just doesn't really make sense. Everywhere that I go has light gray sidewalks, but I guess they're just stuck with that decision at this particular point in time. So yeah, the first thing I'm going to do is switch up those tiles, and if I have enough, I'm going to switch up the Jazz Club and also the Sanctum Sanctorum tiles as well. So when I make these changes, I essentially reverse it. So anything that's light gray becomes dark gray, and anything that's dark gray becomes light gray. So all of the tile work back here is going to become dark gray, and all the tile work up front here on the sidewalks is going to become light gray. Almost done with the modular construction site here, but I'm out of light gray 2x2 tiles. Luckily, I have this friend's modular building right here that has a whole bunch of them. So I'm going to strip that down and use those tiles for swapping more modular buildings. I even had dark gray 6x6 tiles, so now I have these in the inventory. I was thinking maybe I should make all my sidewalks 6x6 tiles. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not going to order those. That would be insane. We're running with the 2x2s. There we go. They're all switched up. And now the construction site is ready to be placed in the Lego City. So I had some time to think about it. And the construction site is going to go right here where the university is. This is an alt build of the Hogwarts Castle. And then on the end of the street, we have the corner garage. I'm not sure if the corner garage is going to move or not. But I'm not a huge fan of these modular buildings here just because they don't really look good from the backside, and it's the only way that we can have them presented in the city, from the backside, because there's a train track that runs right there and it's integrated in the road, right? Sure, they look awesome from this side, but from this side, not so much. And this is like a main focal point of the city, and they're just sort of an eyesore. You know what's convenient about the university? It's the same size as the construction site. Actually, it's bigger than the construction site because we built this custom courtyard right here. It had the gazebo, which is custom built, and then also an extended sidewalk. This is one entire base plate. However, half of the base plate is sort of taken away there by this train track. This whole area needs to be done. I've been saying that for a while. And you know what? With the construction site going here, we're going to have to reposition the gazebo. And the gazebo, sure, it made sense as the courtyard for the university, but it's not going to make sense when it's a construction site there. And before, I mean, it's not really the best spot for the courtyard or a gazebo because there's a busy train track right there, actually, 2 of them. So that's one positive from these changes already. I really wanted to put the new construction site front and center so you can see it, and I think that is like the perfect placement for it. I've still got to figure out what I'm going to do with that base plate that sort of ran underneath the flex track there, and also I've got a new plan for the corner garage. I spun the corner garage, and I think it looks better like that there. The side of the building can still be seen because it's up against the construction site, but that's going to be the case for any modular building that's against the construction site, and you can still see the back side of it here. But I think it just blends in a little bit better. It's actually funny because the corner garage alt build is right there. You can see the back side of it, and you can see the corner garage. That's the pub. It's pretty funny. But I think when you look at the city from this perspective, that looks a lot better. For now, just to fill this spot and cover up the table, I decided to put this plate back, but that is not going to stay like that. And now I have to decide where this university is going to go. Can we consider it to be a Harry Potter set? Maybe. Maybe it should go in the corner here where Sesame Street is, beside 12 Grimmauld Place and also Diagon Alley. I'm going to attempt to do that. So, sorry, Up House, you've got to move. And same with the Sesame Street set, which was built using 2 Sesame Street sets, and it's an alt build from rebrickable.com. I actually think that looks pretty good. It is getting a bit tight right here, and also it's a bit tall going up against the sitcom tower. But you know what? It is what it is. The city's filling up, and that's just the sacrifice that has to happen. I think it looks good here, though, right beside these custom facades. For sure, it sort of matches that Harry Potter theme. I also fixed up the road plates right over here behind the corner garage, and I spotted something that needs to be fixed. When I moved the fire brigade, I forgot to change the road plate. I think it's because I wasn't 100% sold on the fire brigade spot in between 2 plates. So it's sort of going to be awkward to integrate this onto 2 plates there. And also I have to remove the drain there in order to do that. Had to move some modular buildings and it was quite the reach, but there we go. I've got that all fixed up there and it looks a lot better. Now that I got the fire brigade taken care of there, it's time to fix up the Sanctum Sanctorum as well. Just such a big battle happening here. But yeah, those tiles have got to change because they just don't match the sidewalk. There we go. That looks much better. When did the Sanctum Sanctorum come out? I think it was in the summer. It took me that long to switch up the tiles. Oh my gosh, it looks so much better. Well, we may as well take care of the tiling on the Jazz Club as well. And look at that. Good old Jazz Club, matchy-matchy as well. At this point, you might be wondering, has Bricksie forgotten about the Sesame Street corner build? I haven't. Let's place it. Okay, the first thing I have to do is remove this half base plate, which currently has the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles on it. Okay, the next thing I have to do is slide the sitcom tower forward. It's definitely getting pretty tight there. It's invading the front yard of this house. I just have to make room, and that's the only way I can do it. Also, I'm going to be moving Peter Parker's apartment with the pizzeria. And somehow, I'm going to reach into the city and place it right there beside the Lego store. Hey, Superman, that actually does a pretty good job of filling this street, though. The buildings are like flush. Look at the Lego store and Peter Parker's apartment there. They're the same depth. It just looks really satisfying. The issue is Sesame Street is now invading Diagon Alley. You see, right there we've got the Hooper's store. It looks good from this perspective, but it doesn't really make sense in there. Uh-oh. Goat boat down, everybody. I hit a little table gap while I was sliding it over, and the goat boat was suspended above. And it went smash. But I actually decided to switch the position of Sesame Street in the sitcom tower. Now there's this little walkway here that will lead to the backside of the university, to like the little courtyard right there. So it makes sense from that point of view. It is a little bit crowded for sure. What I could do for this house right here is swap it up with something different, or remove these bushes and trees and tile that off so it connects with the sidewalk to the Quickie Mart. I could do the same thing for the Ford Privet Drive as well. Make 4 more studs of a sidewalk. Ford Privet Drive probably doesn't really need it because it's got enough sidewalk from the curve, right? And it makes sense to have the driveway there like Ford Privet Drive actually is. But I might do it here. But either way, hey, that looks pretty good, eh? Not bad. Okay, so with the fresh coffee brewed, all the tiles changed up and the construction site placed, and all of the modular buildings moved around to accommodate that construction site, I feel pretty confident moving on to the next task, which of course is the next Bricklink Designer Program set. I'm not going to be building it today, but I think we're going to continue working on the foundation for the Mountain View Observatory. In order to properly place this in the Lego City, it needs a massive mountain, which we started constructing the other day. It accommodates the train track, and it's just by the farm here with the creek. So I think we need to continue working on that mountain there. The first thing I need to do is create a 48 by 48 plate, which will serve as the base for the upper portion of that mountain. Look at that. It fits perfectly. Amazing. So this mountain is going to be based on that, and it's also going to go up here. So it's going to be interesting because the slope has to continue up here at the same sort of rate, maybe taper off a little bit. And then we have to create this mountain that's going to accommodate that set on this plate, and it all has to blend in seamlessly. So it's going to be a pretty fun project if you ask me. The first thing that I need to do is find all of my dark gray pieces, that being 2x brick and also all of the slopes. So I am going to be rummaging through a ton of unsorted pieces, just trying to find any dark gray slopes that I possibly can. Oh my gosh, it's a random find. As I was walking by it, I forgot to do the tile swaps on the bowling alley as well. That's hilarious. We're going to have to see if we have enough tile to do that, maybe at a later date, just because I want to search for slopes and other gray pieces for that mountain. And included in my dark gray hunt is this. Going to be ripping this apart from the underwater area. This actually used to go around a table leg, because there used to be this table leg that came around there, and these rocks were built around it to try and sort of conceal it. That's no longer the case. So I'm going to extract all the dark gray slopes from here and also all of these rock panels to help with that mountain construction. So while doing this, it's difficult because are we sorting or are we searching? Are we searching for mountain pieces, or are we sorting absolutely everything as we find awesome pieces? It very easily turns into a day of sorting. Well, that turned into sorting parts for an hour, but look at all the cool things we found. Treasure. Seriously though, look what was inside these chests though. A bunch of coins and diamonds and rubies. What a find that is. Oh my gosh, once you get started, you just can't stop. This bin is an absolute gold mine. I am fishing out everything that looks awesome. Everybody, I just found a bag of dogs. No joke. So I went through and pulled out all the good looking pieces, and thank goodness I found some more brick separators. I was in desperate need of those. Holy crow, look at all that gray tile we extracted. You know what, there were a few mocks in there that I quickly just demolished and threw in a bin. But look at that, feels really good. Woo! So we've got the 48 by 48 plate. This is all the slopes that we have left. We actually isolated the inverted slopes, also a giant bag of 1x2s. These used to all be mixed together and the 1x2s really clouded it. But now we can find all the tall ones that we require. And it looks like there's a lot of them, but when you want to build a giant mountain, there's not a whole lot of them. Luckily, we have a ton of rock panels. So these are the rectangular ones and then also the corner ones. So we're going to be able to build a pretty cool looking mountain on the plate. And also we're going to use all of the gray brick that we have as well. That's all my 2x gray brick. Found a bunch of it when we were sorting. I wish we found more slopes, but this will have to do. But this is bothering me, and we just found a bunch of tiles, so I'm going to change up the bowling alley as well. Once again, it just looks so much better. How long have I had the Bricklink Designer Program bowling alley? A very long time. And I've got exciting news. If you watched one of my previous updates, you already know this. We're going to be adding a second floor to the bowling alley. Half of the parts have already arrived. I'm waiting for one more order, which should be here next week. And then you're going to see a second floor with an arcade being added on to the bowling alley. It's going to make this area of the Lego City look even better than it already does. After all the city planning and moving modulars and sorting, I sort of lack motivation right now to do this. It's a giant mountain and I don't know what we're going to do here. I know for sure we have to blend in this corner, and for sure it has to start going up off these studs right there, and then sort of transition to the back there. Honestly, like I'm probably better off building the Mountain View Observatory and then placing it on this 48 by 48 plate and saying, okay, this is where I want it positioned, and then building the mountain according to that. Because if I build the mountain, or at least the base structure for the mountain, and then I build the Mountain View Observatory and it doesn't work out, then I'll be like, oh, that was a waste of time. So I probably should build the Mountain View Observatory, honestly. And when you take a look at this set, the base of it is like dark tan, dark orange, green, leaves, it has some water. So there's a lot of things that have to be blended in to sort of make it work. For example, the top row of the mountain should probably be transitional colors to these colors, right? And maybe it should be the dark tan rock pieces, similar to the ones that you see here at the top of the mountain, just to make it blend. And then those should be covered with dark gray slopes to blend it in. I just went upstairs to grab my memory card from my other camera, and I found $100. But here I go, getting started with the next Bricklink Designer Program set. There's not much time left in this day. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to build this massive set in one day and have my review out for tomorrow's video. So I couldn't tell you exactly when my review of this awesome set is coming out, but make sure you stay tuned. So like I was mentioning, I don't really want to rush into the creation of the mountain for the Mountain View Observatory because I don't really know what I'm doing with the surrounding area over here. For example, this mountain could sort of slope downward like that and sort of be elongated on the platform. And if I do something like that, then it's going to be bigger than the 48 by 48 plate, and maybe I will do something like that. And I think the best place to start is to build that set and then sort of go from there. But maybe if it's elongated, it can have some sort of ridge that hosts different sets or different things on the edge of the mountain, right? So that's a pretty cool idea, and I'm going to get that set built so then we can start on this project. With that said, everybody, that wraps up our video. I hope you enjoyed it. We got a whole bunch of modular buildings shifted around, changed a whole bunch of the tile work, which is good, and also sorted a bunch of parts. So a pretty successful day in my opinion, and I'm going to continue the day with building that set, so it's pretty awesome. Everybody, thank you so much for coming on by. Remember to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for some more great stuff, and farewell.